Good evening. April 2nd. Wasn't that a hell of a ball game? If you were watching the Carolina game, you watch history. What was that? 17-18 lead changes. Go Carolina. What a great game. I've yelled till I'm hoarse. Anyway, hey, listen, a few things I left out of the show. I try to keep my shows to less than 15 minutes. No commercials, no bullshit. Makes things easier to get to things. But look behind me. This is the beach side at Sandestin. Now, the Sandestin development order, this is it on a normal day. There's the lakes and stuff at normal levels. They're supposed to retain, depending on the soil content, you know, based on the samples, X amount of 6.7 inches of rainfall before it goes anywhere. That means you're supposed to catch it in these ponds and catch it in these places where it's naturally absorbed. And until it's done that, none of it's supposed to either go in the Gulf or in the bay. Now just look at this behind us. Now, if you dump 6.7 inches of rain in 24 hours in there, how many of you think there's enough places there to catch it without it either going into the Gulf or going into the bay? The answer is obviously it's not. Now add 7 more high rises. That's just the footprint alone for them is the impervious surface. So take away more places that can absorb water. You know, I mean, this doesn't make any sense, but I want to update you on who knows about these violations. And tomorrow, I'm going to be sending out some key emails on all the proof on this. And then the next show, I'll tell you who all I sent it to. And that'll be very interesting. But let me tell you who knows that this thing's in violations. Well, you know who knows this? I'll tell you, the Pied Piper of kazoos himself, Scott Brandon. Now this is Trey. If you don't know Scott Brandon, you're not local. Hey, this is Scott Brandon. He used to be a commissioner. Let him introduce himself. Say hi, Scott. They think he's the Messiah in this county. He was a commissioner, and then the second time nobody ran against him, but he got in so much trouble he wouldn't run again and blamed Suzanne Harris. This is his lifelong buddy, Clay. Both of these people have gotten jobs since Trey Nick got elected to office. Imagine that. But anyway, Scott himself, who's been involved with this so far back since 2007, Scott is the reason that Sandestin wasn't stopped the first time. And the second time, Tony Anderson is the reason, because Tony Anderson made the motion to change the definition of open space so Sandestin could comply. But they also wanted to ignore the drainage and traffic, but it was just a substantial deviation. But Scott Brandon himself has been running around. Now, all your commissioners have this paperwork. Trey Nick's own aide, and Sandestin's in Trey Nick's district and has been. Now, Trey don't live in that district. That's a different show, but Sandestin is. This is the same bay where the grease from the French fries was done. Isn't that right, Trey? But anyway, Scott Brandon is Trey's aide, and he's involved. He knows about it. Tony Corman knows about it. They know about these state reports. They know Matt Carpenter, he's in charge of telling the BCC if the annual report is correct. Mac, what have you to say about this? I think you're a damn liar. That's what I think. Would you trust it? Would you buy a used Pinto from this dude? Look at him. It's like Smithers escaped. I swear, from the Bart Simpson show. You just can't make this crap up. And I'm going to tell you some other things. I'm going to tell you how bad it is. These commissioners know that this guy, Stan Sunday, and Tony Corman, and some others fired an employee just to keep the Sandestin thing a secret because it was too big to fail. It's been so many times, but let's talk about this, guys. Is it any wonder that Dee Dee sat in awe? Is it? that she got fired? I mean, she probably should have been fired. From what I've seen, she should have. But the real thing is this: if you stack up all Dee stuff, it probably is 10 grand maybe that you showed us, possibly. Nobody in her whole, all those things that were, you know, maybe if she did something in her time card, I mean, what's the possibility of it? But here, you guys know that banks are lending money based on whether your planning staff and your attorneys tell the truth. And hell, they don't. Hey, Clay, any day you want to sit down and bring your cousin Mike with the gift of gab and look at these documents, we can do that. But Scott knows it, and these guys know it, and the staff knows it. And you know something? This is the Alan Osborne Show, and now you know it. And some new people will know it tomorrow, and we'll tell you all about that. But that's what's going on the Alan Osborne Show. It's no wonder what we saw go down. Why wouldn't Dee be shocked if she's watched people lie about a $500 million development fraud? Why wouldn't she be in shock? She got fired over a few lousy $10,000 or less discretions. Deep thoughts on the Alan Osborne Show. Y'all keep them straight out there. You hear?